Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. We're linked with two Real Madrid players. One is Federico Valverde, the one that I really like a lot. He can play as a right midfielder, right winger as well. And he's also played as a central midfielder. So he's such a very talented guy and very positionally versatile. But the next one is the one we've talked about all week. That is Tchouameni. Still talks, reports coming out as saying that because Kylian Mbappe could have to join Real Madrid this summer, Arsenal are trying to pounce on the opportunity of signing Tchouameni should Real Madrid decide to use him as one of the avenues to raise money this summer. Now, we are not alone in the negotiations, or we are not alone in the interest of Federico Valverde and Tchouameni. Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool is also interested. In the comment box below, let me know. Let me know. Tchouameni or Valverde? I mean, Tchouameni is a defensive midfielder. We know that. Like, he's that kind of six, but modern six. He's got the ability to play out from the back. He's got the ability to create some chances, but he can also score some goals. But he's your six, like he's a defensive midfielder. You don't expect a lot from him in terms of creativity, scoring goals, and all that. Okay, so if we lose Partey, Tchouameni would be a very good option. Federico Valverde, on the other hand, is very similar to what you would call a right midfielder, literally Aaron Ramsey. Actually, reminds me very much of Aaron Ramsey's time, at Arsenal. That kind of guy that can play as a right winger, can play as a right midfielder, can play as a central midfielder. He can play as an attacking midfielder as well. And he had a very good campaign for Real Madrid last campaign, right? It didn't work out. It didn't actually have a good spell at the World Cup for Uruguay, but he's such a talented boy. So one of those, if you had to choose one, because I don't think Arsenal are going to go to Madrid and pick up Valverde and Tchouameni, that would make our market from absolutely ridiculous to catastrophic. It would be beautiful, all right? But I don't think we are going to sign both of them. I think it's only one of them. So if we were to go with one of those two, let me know in the comment box below. Which one do you think Arsenal need more? Let's start off with Federico Valverde, because he's a new name on the block. Arsenal are interested in Fede Valverde right from January. We talked about him, but of course there was no way Madrid were going to sell to us one of their key pillars in their squad by then. Like, Valverde, by the time at Real Madrid, he was the fresh blood. He was the young player in that midfield. The likes of Kroos, the likes of Modric, given their age, you could only ask so much from them. So Valverde is like the engine. He was like the engine for them last season. And he played a lot of minutes. He played a lot of games together with Eduardo Camavinga. And he allowed Carlo Ancelotti that privilege and that that opportunity to rotate between Kroos and, of course, at times Luka Modric. Now, I understand why we're linked with Fede Valverde. I understand why Arsenal would be interested in Federico Valverde. And it's one that makes a lot of sense. The other one of Tchouameni really does not. Let's talk about Valverde, right? Valverde positionally is a versatile player. Like, we know Mikel Arteta is one guy that loves positionally versatile player. If you can play at CM, right M, left W, right W, that is your Mikel Arteta's guy, right? So positionally is a very versatile player, and I think Mikel Arteta will not try to sign an out-and-out winger to provide quality cover for Bukayo Saka. It's going to be one of that profile of Valverde. He can play anywhere on that right hand side, but he can play anywhere on the left hand side as well. So with Fede Valverde, you can turn him into a winger. You can turn him into a midfielder, and he will still do very, very well. I think in that Madrid squad, there's so many talented players, okay? But my favorite player is Federico Valverde. Like, I like him a lot. I was actually very surprised that when I saw him at the World Cup playing for Uruguay, I always thought he was Spanish. Of course, he's got Spanish blood, but he chose to play for Uruguay, something I really didn't understand, because we could have used his services at the World Cup really, really, so much. But anyway, that's talk for another channel and another day. So Federico Valverde to Arsenal makes a lot of sense. It's a player that Mikel Arteta is looking for. He's a player that we've already signed, by the way, in Kai Havertz. So you can see the link, the link between what Mikel Arteta is looking for and what we already have, right? So he's one of those players that can play for you in that left number 8, right number 8 as well. So if you signed him, it means Odegaard's injury does not impact us, pretty bad as much as it would right now. Just imagine if we lost Odegaard right now. No one replaces him. Of course, Fabio Vieira has got the ability. Emile Smith-Rowe has got the ability as well. But we know Emile Smith-Rowe is more like is much more of a goal-scoring midfielder than a creator. And Fabio Vieira is a creator, but he will need that good season. He will need that good campaign to prove to us that he's either worthy of playing for Arsenal, or even worthy of being in this team, at all. Worthy of being as part of this squad at all. Okay, so. Just to clarify, Federico Valverde makes a lot of sense to Arsenal. Like, it really makes a lot of sense. Now, Florentino Perez has said they're not selling their players. They say their business in the market is done. I believe him, because he's one that does business early. He's a manager. He's a guy that does business very early in the window. If Madrid are gonna sign Kaká and Ronaldo by the 31st of June, you will know their plans. If they're gonna sign Gareth Bale by the 31st of June, you will know their plans. So after signing Joselu this summer, he actually came out and said this will be our last signing. However, he has signed Adagula, which also means that he has broken his word. Joselu was not his last signing, okay? And with the ultimatum now being put on Kylian Mbappe and Nasser El Khelaïfi being very strong in his words, he said, we will sell Kylian Mbappe. We will sell Mbappe if Madrid do not come and pick him up. I think Florentino Perez, as a businessman, he knows when a person like Nasser El Khelaïfi, who spends millions, right, who deals with deals that are in the regions of millions and millions of pounds, he knows that he's serious when he says that. So I do expect some changes at Real Madrid, and I do expect some departures as well as incomings, okay? So Mbappe could be going there, and that could actually constrain the game time for players like, Valverde, because Valverde in midfield with Camavinga, Tchouameni, Bellingham already there, plus Adagula now, he might be looked at as the guy that can actually go and, make some money for the club, right? Now, with cover on the right wing and the left wing as well, maybe that's where the question would be. They would need Valverde to cover for them on the right wing, or even on the left wing. But if Arsenal go for Valverde, if the interest becomes concrete and strong, it's one that makes a lot of sense. Okay, and he's a player that I would look at as maybe not the profile of Saka, but the profile that can give us something different. A player that can give us something different. He's originally a midfielder. We've seen him play in midfield. He's an attack-minded player. He loves to score goals. He loves to create chances. So Valverde, tick. But in terms of pricing, I don't think he will go for anything below 50 million euros. The season he has had, and the prospect of what he's going to become, he's only 24. I don't see him sign for Arsenal or any other club for anything below 50 million euros. Like, I don't expect that to happen, okay? So, because of that, I don't see Arsenal spend another 50 million euros on a player who's going to come in as a fringe player, who's going to come in as a squad player. I also don't see that happen. So, I might be forced to call this one off, as well as early as it is. It has just come in. I might actually be forced to call it off. Now, Liverpool would be in a much better situation to sign him rather than Arsenal. They will need cover for Mohamed Salah. They will need cover for Dominic Szoboszlai, and they just need midfielders. Like, Liverpool need midfielders. Right now, in my opinion, they have two. They need two more. So they could do with a Federico Valverde in that midfield position, plus maybe a Romeo Lavia, okay? But again, Liverpool spending 50 million euros on him or Lavia. I kind of feel like they should spend the 50 on Lavia rather than Federico Valverde. But Valverde I like, and if Arsenal signed him, I would be okay with that. I think I would really understand where it comes from. The big question is, will we sign him? Now, the next one is, of course, Tchouameni, and I still find it very hard to think that Florentino Perez is going to undo the work he's done with Tchouameni. Now, just for clarity, the reports around Tchouameni that he's put on sale by Madrid are absolutely not true. I think Tchouameni faces a media dilemma. He just finds himself in the middle of nasty publications. So this is what's happening. Because Madrid has such a lot of talent now in midfield, Jude Bellingham has signed, and many people look at Tchouameni as almost the star that Jude Bellingham is. So many people think because they've signed Bellingham, they don't need Tchouameni, so Tchouameni should be leaving. And they also think, Camavinga, because he's played so much last campaign, he's much better than Tchouameni, and therefore Tchouameni has nowhere to play. I absolutely disagree. I've had my own likes and dislikes of players like Tchouameni, but I like this one. I really do like Tchouameni, not at Arsenal, but as a player. And I think with Tchouameni, he's the only player that is very different from what Real Madrid have now. Like, it's like giving them Thomas Partey right now. They have a Jude Bellingham, who is your box-to-box. He's defensive. He's also attacking, so he's very good. You have Eduardo Camavinga, who is very good in ball distribution, and he can also be defensive. He can also be attacking as well. They have Fede Valverde, who is very attacking, and his pressing is also very fine. But they will try to replace Casemiro like for like, because he was one of their most important players in that midfield. I won't be surprised if they try to replace Modric like for like and Casemiro like for like, because Jude Bellingham ultimately replaces Toni Kroos. I think what you get in Kroos, the ball distribution, the passing accuracy, the passing range, the shots outside the penalty area, the goals. Actually, Bellingham will score more goals than Toni Kroos. So Tchouameni is special. Tchouameni is different. Tchouameni is your Casemiro. Breaks play, elite ball winner, world-class move breaker. That is Tchouameni. Liverpool need Tchouameni. So if we are told that Liverpool, because Liverpool is still interested, have signed Tchouameni, no one of us would actually get surprised. No, it doesn't surprise us or me that Liverpool really want to sign Tchouameni. Like, they don't have a player in that area. They're trying to sign Romeo Lavia. They're trying to sign Kefren Thuram. They're trying to sign so many players in that defensive midfield position because Fabinho was on a massive generational decline last campaign. So Liverpool for Tchouameni, nice. That makes sense. But because Liverpool are trying to sign players worth 50 million euros and worth 60 million euros or 40 million euros, it shows you where the budget stands, and it's the same problem with Arsenal. Tchouameni cost in excess of 80 million to Real Madrid. And because it's on such a long contract, I don't think you're going to go there and sign him for 60 million. I don't think you're going to go there and sign him for 70 million euros. And if Madrid look at him as a player who can raise funds to sign, to bring in Kylian Mbappe, they're thinking, in the region of 100 million euros. Okay? So if it's 100 million euros for a player to come and join Declan Rice in our midfield, or to actually sit on the bench, as I don't see that. It doesn't make any sense. So probably Liverpool, this one makes a lot of sense to Liverpool, because they also want that Maki signing. Arsenal already have their Maki signing. So if Liverpool got for Tchouameni, they get a Maki signing of the summer. That is number one. They get an elite ball winner. We already have that in Declan Rice, right? And they also get a signature move. Like, he would be a signature move. It would be a signature move from Liverpool this summer. But for Arsenal, Tchouameni, I'd have my doubts. I really, really do. But this is what my prediction is about the whole saga of Kylian Mbappe, Valverde, Tchouameni, making space and trying to raise money. I think Madrid will be strong. Mbappe will be strong as well, okay? I think in the end, Madrid and Mbappe will win. Mbappe will join Madrid on a free in 2024. I reckon that's going to happen. And Tchouameni and Valverde will stay at Madrid for the next season, and then one of them will leave in the summer. And I reckon that's going to be Valverde. Because when they sign Kylian Mbappe, they will want to sign a striker Madrid, and they will also try to sign a right winger. Oh, I reckon that Vinicius Jr. shifts on the right. Kylian Mbappe then replaces him directly on the left-hand side, and they still sign a competent, proven striker. It's, whether Victor Osimhen or, it will depend on who they want. I just don't see them do big strategic business in the later days of the window. That is not Madrid, unless something really manifests itself as a big opportunity.